Well, my girl, she left me lonely. Yes, she did. My baby left me blue. And if you watch this movie, you're gonna leave very confused. Seriously. Seriously. Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not. We are talking about my guitar not falling down. Stay up already. What is the deal with it not? We are talking about the fifth and final movie in the Phantasm franchise. Phantasm 5, Ravager. Not Ravager. Ravager. So, when we previously on Phantasm, Mike was left for dead with the spirit thing coming out of his head and the tall man taking off and Reggie running into the portal. And we ignore all that for the most part. So we can have one of the most confusing films I've ever watched. It's psychological horror. It's Hellraiser Inferno, but somehow not as bad. There's so much. Now, this series has always been covered in ambiguity, but this more so than everything. First thing, one, Don Coscarelli did not come back to direct. He produced and co-wrote, but David Hartman, who also co-wrote, directed this, and you can tell. And they decided to try to add more special effects, but the budget was maybe a couple of bucks more than an Asylum film. Can you imagine what the effects are in this movie? This feels like 3 or 4 different scripts thrown together, really. Like, one is centered in an old folks' home. Another one is Reggie traveling down the road trying to find Mike. Another one is sort of a continuation of the last film. And then there's something else thrown in there. I really don't know how to talk about these movies. So confusing. Yeah, so we just begin with Reggie walking down the road in his ice cream uniform, talking about how, the tall man's reign of terror has happened, and he talks about how, at the end of the last one, he stored his Hemicuda to hide so they can make a quick getaway. Well, it's been stolen. I'm assuming this is supposed to have taken place right after the events of the last one, because, I don't know, the way that they talk about it is they make him look much older in the real world. So, I don't know. But he is older. It took 18 years to come out. So, he's walking along the road when he sees someone honking at him. It turns out it's the guy who stole his Hemikuda coming from the opposite direction of where he was coming from. Because I would assume that if the guy was walking and found it, he'd be going in the same direction. I don't know. Like, logically, there's no way they should be meeting up because he took the car and drove away. And if he's still walking down that road, he wouldn't find the guy, but they have to give his Hemikuda back. So he gets in, he messes with the guy. He's like, oh, I had one in the car just like this. Of course, I had a gun in the glove compartment. I know he goes on and on about what kind of gun it is, but I had a gun in the center console. The guy's like, oh, that's right. It was in the glove compartment. And he kicks the guy out and takes his clothes for some reason. And begins traveling down the road. No, wait. He wakes up in an old folks' home, and Mike is there to visit him. Yeah. Apparently, Reggie has been diagnosed with dementia, and everything from all 5 of the movies has been inside of his head. It's never actually happened. But then Mike's like, tell me the story. And yeah, keep in mind that he's sort of framing this story as if it happened. He's telling. Mike, but not really. As he's driving, he meets a girl named Dawn. A woman named Dawn, I should say, who needs a ride because her car went kaputski. And so they drive to her house, and of course Reggie tries to get laid, but she doesn't want it, so he writes a song. It sounds very much like the one from the first film. It has the same kind of tune, and he kind of sings it like this, but it's had different words. He's like, it was lonely going on the road. She's like, oh, I know where this is coming from, and if that's the way you're gonna go, then you can just sleep out with the horses. And no, I think I'm gonna write you a song. And of course, then she gets lonely, and she thinks maybe I do want to have sex with them. But then when she comes downstairs, he's asleep. And he wakes up the next morning and finds her dead from the spheres, because something has to happen with these ladies that he picks up, except for Rocky for some reason. And then he meets Demeter, who is her farmhand, but he dies too. And yeah, well, we're back in the mental institution again, and it's all in his head. No, he wakes up next to Jebediah Morningside, but who then is also the tall man because he threatens him, and then he wakes up again. And this movie is so confusing. Does he go back on the road again? I think. I don't know. All I know is he wakes up in a lab and he's rescued by these two people. One short guy and another one. The short guy's name is Brock. Brooke. God damn it. Why can't I ever remember names? I want to call him Rock because it reminds me of the short guy from... It's not his name, though. Waiting for it to go. Chunk. I didn't even get to it. His name is Chunk, which I should know him because it's a Goonie. His name is Chunk. He's a short little dude. He keeps calling him Baldy. And the other person is a woman. It's Dawn. No, excuse me. Jane. And they said we have to go and meet up with the others. And when they do, it's Mike. And this is where we get to follow up to 4, apparently. Apparently, Reggie has been on ice for 10 years. And Mike's been waiting for him. But no, wait, he wakes up in the real world again, in the old folks' home, and he is met by Mike, who tells him he had a dream from the night before that he woke up in the desert with a hole in his head, and he just kept walking, and he fixed himself, and he saw all the stuff leading up to finding Reggie in the lab. So, from this we can discern that after Reggie chased the tall man back to the portal, he was caught and was going to be experimented on, but the tall man just kept him on ice for 10 years. And then Mike just woke up and fixed himself up and is fighting in a resistance for all this time. Yeah. Also, we see that the I don't know. It's at one point it looks like the world's all on fire. How about yours? That's why I like it, and I never get bored. No, it's all on fire and it's red, but that could also be the tall man's world. I don't know. Everything is. But then he wakes up in there again and tries to escape, but then is attacked. Then he's grabbed by the nurse, who's then now under attack of a creature, and they fight that one off, and they gotta go. Yeah. So they then are confronted by the tall man and taken to his world, where Chunk disguises himself as a Jawa to blow up the tall man. But after the tall man has made a speech about there are thousands of him, yeah, he does this to blow them up and apparently himself, but they're able to get out. Well, Reggie wakes up in the real world again and is found by Mike, who says we have to go, and so kind of intersplices them running out of the mental asylum or the old folks' home while they're actually fighting the bad guys in the other reality. I do have a bit of an explanation, but it's my personal explanation. The only thing I do to make sense, but we'll get to it. And they're fighting, but he gets outside, and Mike is now gone, and they have a doctor and a couple orderlies kind of trying to subdue him. And he hears Mike, and he looks in the trees, and he sees Mike standing there. It kind of phases in between, like the world with the that's on fire with him, and he gives him the quadruple barrel shotgun because we got to have that one shot per movie now. So that's the second one. And so he uses it. He turns around. I think he's going to use it on the orderly and doctors, but the doctor and the orderlies, excuse me. No, it's 3 gas mask people, and he kills them. And then, yeah, you think it's happy, hunky-dory. They get in there, and then they run onto the road, and here they find more of those gas mask creatures, but there's too many of them, and they need a reload. They only got 1 bullet left, but here comes the Hemikuda, tricked out with freaking machine guns attached to it. But who is driving? Jody. Yep, last time we saw him, he was evil and in a ball, but no, he's here. Hey, Reg, how's it hanging? I don't know, a little to the left, maybe. When you get in, Reg, they get in, and they drive off, and then Reggie sort of just lays back, lays his head, and then the director and writer do this to us. Yeah, because as he does this, it snaps to Reggie is now in a hospital bed, dying with both Mike and Jody at bedside. What? Not only does this not make sense, you know, if it was just Mike, because Mike has been in this whole film just by himself, and he has stated that Jody did die in the car wreck. So why is Jody here now? How does that make any sense? Well, I have a bit of an explanation to put out there. The multiverse. I know that's everywhere nowadays. People roll those, oh, why is it always... But think about it. The tall man. He's an otherworldly, alien-type person. He has done this damage. He's able to transcend dimensions. So what if he exists? He says there are thousands of him. So what if there are thousands of different dimensions in which he exists, and maybe there is 1 or 2 where he does not? I say 2 because, like, there's the one where he's in the mental institution with dementia, and Mike says there is no tall man and Jody's dead, and then there's the other one at the end where he's dying in the hospital, and both Mike and Jody are still alive. I don't know. But as he dies, we cut back to them in the car, and they drive off into the distance. The movie ends. Wait! Mid-credit scene. This was 2016, after all. It was filmed in 2014. But mid-credit scene, Chunk is alive! He escapes through a little portal thing and is found by Rocky. Yep. The glorified cameo for her. And so she patches him up because he's missing a hand. My hand! Ow, my hand. And so she patches him up, and then the guys show up and they drive off. End of the movie. They said we're going to go north where it's cold, but where they're driving is a bunch of giant silver balls in the sky. So I don't know how well that works. And you know this is the last one because, one, you know this was filmed in 2014. Angus Scrimm passed before the movie was released. So there's no way they could have done another one unless they went with my idea that I had. Mike becomes the tall man. Based on what was going on in the 4th film, and in the third and fourth one, I should say, that perhaps the tall man was trying to help Mike become the next one because he didn't have long in the body. He's old, decrepit, sort of thing. Although every time we see Jebediah Morningside, he's an old, decrepit man. So I don't know how that would work. But if Mike becomes the tall man, he's the bad guy now, and he's boy, because he's that could have worked. However, upon looking at Reggie Bannister's Wikipedia page, I know anyone can edit it, but I don't doubt its authenticity. In 2016, around the time this movie was released, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and, no shit, dementia. Yeah, what are the odds? And as of February 21st, 2025, he has been put into hospice care. And if you don't know what that means he's pretty much going to die, and it's just about a matter of time. So now it's got me scared that any day now it's going to pop up on social media. Phantasm star Reggie Bannister passes away age 78, or however old he is. And if that happens, then I'm pre-dedicating this entire review series in his name. To you, Reggie. But, yeah. Maybe he'll keep going. I don't know. But, I also do like that there's like a montage of stuff from the previous films showing the actors at certain ages, except for 2 for Michael Baldwin because he wasn't in it, so they just kind of cut around 2. So it's like 1, 3, and 4, and they don't show 2 because they can't. So I went into this thinking I was gonna make this movie fry in hell, but I'm just gonna give it a not worth your time, but a very low one. A very low one. I still like 4 more than this. There's so much more they could do. It's like they decided, hey, if this was going to be the last one, we needed something conclusive and unambiguous stuff. Reggie dying is not conclusive when you don't even know that it fucking happened or not. You don't. It's because he dies. Because you think he lays back and then so he's dying. He dies, and then we cut back to him in the car driving off with them. So his dad is he on the road. One could also surmise that maybe Mike didn't survive that night at the end of 4, and Reggie's been in a mental institution since then. And he died, but I don't know. Or it could be some sort of what do you call it? Purgatory. A purgatory of some sorts, where he wasn't ready to move on yet, and now he and Jody, and see, even Chunk could be dead. Even Rocky could be dead by this point, you know? Whatever happened to Tim? Tim, eh? Whatever happened to him? We don't know. Anyway, I also find it weird that they never brought back other actors or actresses. Like, the actress who played Liz in the second one, to bring her back, that was a studio thing. That was a studio demanded the second one to bring her back. But also the age would have been weird. But also, Jody is dead and somehow still ages. So I don't know how that works. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Phantasm 5 Ravager? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm this guy, and I'll see you in the next one.